What's up, guys? I got the pencil here, and hey, if no one else wants to talk about it, I'll do it myself. Kingdom Hearts villains, Kingdom Hearts antagonists, Kingdom Hearts, whatever you want to call them, they're fire. Like, hands down, fire. Now, real quick, before I go into the bag about why they and themselves are fire, let me tell you what makes a good antagonist for me. A good antagonist mirrors the protagonist in a way that no other antagonist could. And I think Kingdom Hearts, and Tetsuya Nomura specifically, does very, very well in crafting villains that do that work specifically for the respective protagonist they are being an antagonist to in that specific game, in that specific moment. So let's get to chat and let's talk about the original villain, the original Maleficent. So the whole reason I'm even mentioning Maleficent is because I think she was a really good antagonist in KH1. She acted in direct opposition to Sora because she was the one, at least at first, who was manipulating Riku off rip, because we didn't know about Ansem to that point. She was the one who gave Riku all the powers over darkness and the Heartless, and that was a direct antagonistic move towards Sora, even though she did it indirectly, trying to just make Riku more useful to her, because by doing that, made it harder for Sora to get to Riku, which was one of his biggest goals in Kingdom Hearts 1, which was to find his friends. And of course, she was the one who wanted the 7 Princesses of Heart initially, as far as we knew, to open the door to Kingdom Hearts, to reveal the keyhole to the world. And by doing that, she took away Kairi. And Kairi is one of the biggest motivators for Sora throughout the entirety of KH1. So, fantastic work as an antagonist there. Ansem specifically, I think he works lesser as an antagonist directly to Sora, but he still does work very, very well. Because when you look at what Ansem did for the narrative, he took over Riku's body. And due to that, it has so many lasting repercussions, not just for that game, but for the series as a whole. So, specifically for the game, he took over Riku's body, and that was a no-go for Sora. Sora was just like, I want everyone to be free and independent, and I want my friends back. And by taking over Riku's body, Ansem was like, what friends? He's mine now. And then, just straight up, he literally transformed Riku's body. Riku was sent to the realm of darkness. That's how jacked up Ansem got Riku. And that was just, it was really, really good from that standpoint. And Ansem just brought a whole air of mystery, like, to the entire series to that point. Because what we had known about the Heartless was that they were pretty much mindless beasts that only cared about hearts. But then you see the Big Daddy Heartless, Ansem. He has the same emblem on his chest, and he's wielding a Heartless behind him that's not like attacking him. So he has to be a Heartless, but he's a Heartless that can think and talk and like possess. Like Ansem just raised so many questions, and I think Ansem was a fantastic connecting point, even though he, quote-unquote, got destroyed at the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 when Kingdom Hearts was light. He was a massive connecting point just as a narrative villain, because you're thinking like, wait, if he's a Heartless, who produced him? Because we know Heartless, even in Kingdom Hearts 1, we knew Heartless was born of the darkness of people's hearts. And we're like, whoa, who produced such a powerful Heartless that was so dangerous? So that led you to thinking into our next antagonist, which is still Ansem, because we'll talk about how Ansem compares to Riku. So Ansem and Riku have a really, really good relationship in the sense that it's not a good relationship at all. Ansem literally just sees the potential in Riku as a dark vessel, and Riku doesn't want to fall down that path, but Ansem keeps pushing it. He keeps testing him. He keeps trying to unleash. His darkness is particular. It has rested in Riku's heart, and throughout all of Chain of Memories, you see Riku trying to fight it, trying to fight back, trying not to use that dark power, but he ends up needing it, and he ends up falling to it occasionally. But what he learns is that this dark power is no longer just Ansem's, but it's his own. So as long as he takes control over it, then Ansem can't do anything. And I think that's great, because when you see Riku finally just start using dark mode on his own, start using dark mode for his own usage, it's a good character moment. And you can see in the final battle with Ansem in Chain of Memories, and especially Re-Chain of Memories, that he's actually kind of impressed. Like he's shooketh, because of course this is a power he gave Riku that just got snatched away, but he's a little bit shooketh. And I think that's good. I feel like it's always good for an antagonist and a protagonist to surprise each other. If it's always the antagonist just leading the way, guiding the hero along, then it kind of gets boring. It can be done well. It can be done very well, but it's just not to the best. Like, you can do better when writing an antagonist and protagonist relationship. But I think in terms of that was a fantastic antagonist protagonist relationship. Great, amazing. Let's move on to Xemnas. Yeah, that's not how they. No, I was thinking of how Lingry Wolf was pronouncing Xehanort, Bobby, but Xemnas, easily my favorite villain. Did I put him my favorite villain? I'm saying it here. He is my favorite villain, and the reason that is because I think he works due to him being a nobody, being with no heart, and how Sora is so full of heart. I feel like he is the perfect antagonist to Sora specifically, especially in Kingdom Hearts 2, where Sora is literally so full of emotion and feeling and all this. He's so full of life, but then you have this antagonist that just drains life from the area around him. Xemnas has a presence to him that is rarely seen in antagonists, especially in video games, where it's almost hard to portray the presence a character like Xemnas should have, but he does. He just carries this air of pure control. And honestly, the amazing thing about that is Sora really can't do much to Xemnas. Throughout the entire game, you just keep seeing him, you keep hearing of him. Xemnas, number one of the organization. The organization keeps calling you a traitor. You're like, Xemnas is in control of all these people, all these powerful beings that Sora has been running the ones with. Well, 3-on-1s because he's had help, but still, he's been running the ones, and he's like, what is Xemnas? And you know Sora, and you as the player make that weird connection, like, he looks like Ansem, but there's a heartless and a nobody, and you're just one by one, the pieces are slowly falling together. And I think as an antagonist, Xemnas works so well because not only does he build up on the mystery set up by Ansem, he also creates his own new mystery with how he got all these people beneath him. What leads them to follow him? And then you can see in the narrative, he just is way stronger than all of them. And it's to be expected because he's number one. But you've obviously seen ranks typically didn't mean much, right? Like, Axel slapped Vexen and he was 4 ranks higher. But that power, that presence that Xemnas has, whew, it's quality. And all the way throughout. Now, this is a much more stagnant relationship in comparison to what Ansem and Riku had. But I think even then, Sora has those moments where he actually shakes Xemnas up, which should be impossible, but he shakes Xemnas up. Like when Xemnas tries to plead to Sora towards the end of Cage 2, and he's like, I'm just a being who wanted a heart. Are you really going to persecute me for that? And Sora's like, hey, yo, shut up! You lying? You can't have a heart. Shut your ugly behind, silver hair, smooth talking, looking fine. Just shut up! It was, and you see the look of like confusion on Xemnas' face, and that is all I need. Like those moments where they shake each other up is so good. And that's just not to talk about the rest of the organization, which I also think is just a great antagonist for Sora, because they all have that no heart issue, but the real thing that they lay into Sora is the traitor aspect, because it makes you ask questions like, wait, what? And then of course you have the beginning of Cage 2, which leads to the entire idea that, oh wait, Roxas, who is Sora, was part of the organization, and it leads to so many more questions. And I think all that's really good antagonist wise. And I would go into more in depth, but I don't want to go too long. And moving on to Xehanort. Now Xehanort is going to get skipped over because I need to talk about young Xehanort. I'm going to save Xehanort for the end. Young Xehanort is so good as an antagonist because it's obvious who it is. The moment you see him in Dream Drop Distance, yeah, you ain't dumb. You can tell that's young Xehanort. But what it does is it makes you ask, huh? What? Because you've seen what Xehanort should actually look like through Birth by Sleep, his older version, and you've seen what Xehanort should look like if his Nobody and Heartless were destroyed, considering we know what Terranort looks like after Birth by Sleep. So you're just wondering, what the heck? You're not so much questioning who young Xehanort is, you're questioning how young Xehanort is. And I think that the Dollar Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3D works very well for that Xehanort specifically, because Sora's literal question, what is going on? It's perfect because young Xehanort is almost in the exact same position. He's doing all this because his older self told him to. He really has no idea or no stake in the matter at all. And it's good to see like a protagonist and antagonist mirror like that. Like, I'll give Nomura credit. He wrote 3 different antagonists that parallel to Sora that in one way or another all tie directly back into him, and that's impressive. But young Xehanort, he doesn't hold a candle to real Xehanort. Now, real Xehanort, I'll admit, I preferred his original motivation. I preferred the idea that Xehanort was just a goon who wanted to see what happened when the new Keyblade War started. Because he wanted to disrupt harmony just for science. He didn't care about the people. He didn't care about the life that could be lost. He just wanted to see it because he wanted to see it. And that's a good enough motivation. It contrasts very well with the Birth by Sleep trio, who care all about the people. They're going around the world trying to help everybody that they can. And I think that's a good reflection for their That's a good reflection from antagonist to protagonist, especially in the case of Xehanort and Terra. Master Xehanort and Terra specifically, that's very good. I feel like Vanitas' chaotic nature, that literally just, he wears a mask, he hides his face, he doesn't expose anything about himself. His kind of antagonistic role towards Aqua and Ven, I feel like that's very, very good. But now this is an analysis done by me. This is something I didn't even think about until watching King K's discussion video with all his friends. Go check that out. It's a 3-hour video, I do believe, but it's very, very good. Just listen to it. Turn it into a podcast. When he brought up the idea that Xehanort's changed motivations, wanting to fix the entire world so it was back in balance, all on his own, in comparison to the Kingdom Hearts cast that wants to do everything together with friendship. Ooh, that's good. That's good. I still don't like it. I still don't like that new motivation. But that flip, the way he's directly contrasting our protagonists, that's good. That's quality. That's quality right there. And I really do like that. But I talked about all these antagonists and why they're so great, and I need to talk about the future antagonists. So we have the Master of Masters, and we have the Foretellers, and we have Lushu. Now, I'm scared. I'm very, very scared, because I'm not sure where Nomura is going. Now, here's the thing. Last I checked, the Foretellers kinda didn't want the world to die. But the world didn't die. Either time. It didn't die the first time, and it didn't die the second. Well, it actually did die the first time. It got reborn in the Hearts of White, but whatever. But basically, I'm not sure what the Foretellers' role is gonna be. Are they gonna like try and recolonize like the world? Are they gonna try to reunite them? But I'm so confused on where the series is going, especially antagonist wise, because at least from what little I've seen of all the characters, I don't see how they can flip to act as good antagonists to Sora, because Sora is still our main protagonist. Nomura already confirmed that. And like I said, what a good antagonist has to do is mirror the protagonist they're reflecting upon in some way, shape, or form. And while the Master of Masters, a lot of people are saying that's just older Sora, which would be interesting, I would admit. Though very, very weird. I really don't like. Am I the only one who doesn't like how everyone's secretly like 3,000 years old? I keep saying 3,000 because of some reasons. Does anyone else not like that everyone's suddenly like years and years old? Like Ven's super old, Marluxia's super. I don't like that. I really don't like See, this isn't even talking antagonists. This is just, I got to being honest with you. I don't really like the whole Kingdom Hearts key entire backstory thing. I don't like it at all. I feel like time travel should have been an aspect that was used for Kingdom Hearts 3 to have an actual like Organization 13 with established characters, and that's it. I feel like we shouldn't have all this extra mess, because it's just creating more problems. And then you have the whole issue with Yozora and all of that mess that's happening. Not Yozora. Is it Yozora? See, look, that's how much I care. Wait, yeah, Yozora, like all the series. The reason I'm so concerned antagonist wise is because the series is seemingly about to go wild. Like Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be that's so weird to say. Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be absolutely insane. And while I do trust Nomura's talents as a writer, he's bamboozled me before, and I'm definitely certain he can do it again. I'm worried, because I don't see how any of the Foretellers can mirror any of the protagonists in an interesting way, since they're literally just the protagonists we've already had, but like with less development, with less time in the oven, with like less of everything. And Kingdom Hearts Key, despite taking so long for the story to come out, didn't do anything for any of their characters. Even if you go and play or review the story for Kingdom Hearts Key, it doesn't give us much. The closest character that got any development was Ava. And Ava's not even among the Foretellers that got brought back. So I'm a bit bamboozled, to say the least. And then you have all the weird stuff that's going on with Ven right now. It's just, Nomura, He's not the best with story consistency, I'll admit that, but he's good at writing characters, so I'm interested to see where he'll go. The Master of Masters, I feel like he can play well off of Sora, but the Master of Masters doesn't seem like a person who's going to be interacting with Sora a lot. I feel like he's going to interact with Sora even less than Xemnas did, and less than Xehanort did, just because that seems like his type of character. So I'm not sure how they're going to reflect that well off each other. And then of course you have the whole Yozora mess and this alternate Shibuya. So I've really no idea where the series is going antagonist-wise. I'll be honest, I love all the antagonists we've had up to this point. I think they're all very, very good, except for Maleficent and Pete after Kingdom Hearts 1. But that's really it. How would I improve them? I can't really. Like, they all serve their function so well. And all I'd say, just if Nomura himself stumbles across this random video, all I have to say is keep doing what you're doing, man. Just make the antagonist mirror Sora in some interesting way and make it so that they have a back and forth and an interplay. That's all I want. That's all I need. Please, Nomura, thank you very much. But that's all I have for you today. Oh, somehow in the original recording, I just didn't even mention Larxene and Marluxia, aka two of the best villains. Nomura, just keep doing that. Keep doing that, and you're good to go. I don't even need to talk about why those two are so good. They're fantastic antagonists to Sora. Literally. They both mentally tortured the kid, and they brought out things we've never seen in Sora before or after. So yeah. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, Nomura. You know what you were doing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.